Hi, I'm Peggy, and we are Rambling Voyage. Greg's not with me today. He's out on business, and so I decided it's Saturday. I'm by myself. It's beautiful outside. I'm going to cook something. So today, join me because we're going to make, I think it's going to be called a frittata over the fire. So, I'm alone. Greg usually does the fire. This is what the fire pit looks like right now. And we have an empty grill. What I'm going to do is get the fire going on both of these the way he taught me and see if I can work it out. So I've got my Dutch oven, which I'm going to cook in today. And I've got the lighter fluid. He's probably going to make fun of me later about this. That ought to do it. And then he always tells me to just soak it down with the lighter fluid and let it sit for a little while. So that's what I'm going to do. There you go, easy. Okay, I've come back to the coals, and I'm going to try to light these. Like I said, Greg usually does this job, and let's see if I can impress him by what I've done so far. Here goes nothing. I did put this paper in the middle, thought that might help. And then I'm just going to light these individually. Looks like it's taking off. Yay! Okay, now I'm going to show you the prep table. So the ingredients we're working with today are bacon, of course. We got some parchment paper. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. Got some cheese, sour cream, green onions, asparagus. This is cactus. We have broccoli and cilantro. And I also have some of this rosemary. I'm not sure what I'm doing with all these vegetables yet, but those are the ones we're working with. And everybody has their own seasoning palette. I have just kind of grabbed some things from inside. I'm kind of a seasoning freak, but here are some typical flavor varieties. I like things to be spicy, and I really like chili powder, so it usually sneaks its way in. And I guess the standout here might be the cinnamon, because sometimes I like to throw in something that nobody knows is there. I've also got my eggs ready and my bowl, and I've got water here and here to keep my hands clean and the vegetables clean. So we'll start chopping away here in just a second. Looks like the coals are coming along. They're real white. And when you hold your hand over them, 1, 2, 3, ooh! I only caught to 3, and it was very, very hot. So the coals are really rolling right now. I'm going to set the Dutch oven on top of these coals just to warm up the bottom of it just a little bit, and then go back to cutting the vegetables. Wow, it's super sunny out here. Not complaining though, because it is February and I am not sure the temperature right now. I probably should have checked the clock. But I'm gonna guess it at least in the mid-60s, and the sun is directly on my face right now, and it just feels incredible. It's a great day to be cooking outside. So I'm gonna just start chopping our vegetables and getting this ready. That fire's coming along really fast, and I have already rinsed these vegetables, so I'm not going to go through doing that with you. I want to just say that I am not a chef. I don't have any kind of training, culinary training. I'm not an expert on anything cooking related. Basically, I just like to cook, and most people like my food. They say it's good. And, you know, I feel like people get really inspired to cook outside when they, you know, watch me cook outside. And that's really all I want to do, is encourage you to try something new and just step out a little bit and be creative and have fun with what you're doing. You know, the videos that we do, not everything turns out really well. Sometimes it takes a lot longer than we expected it to. I've got a video coming out with our iron skillet hot wings, and you know, I thought they were going to sizzle a lot earlier, and it got dark and difficult to cook, but we still have a whole lot of fun doing it, and I hope that you'll have fun doing it, following along. So I'm not going to bore you while I chop all these vegetables, but I have gotten a head start while we've been talking, and I'm going to come back in just a minute. We'll put it all together, and we're going to make a frittata. Hey guys, I'm currently cutting the asparagus, and it occurred to me, you know, before I started cooking asparagus frequently, I wasn't sure how to cook it. And there's so many ways. You can cook it till it's super mushy, or you can cook it till it's crispy. That's a matter of taste. But what I found was, whenever I cooked it, is that this very end of it would get really chewy. And eventually I learned that what you need to do to decide where that kind of fibrous place is on this asparagus is you just break it towards the end, and where it naturally breaks is a good spot to start with. So there it goes, breaking, and it looks really good and fresh inside there. So that's the way I'm going to do these. I'm also going to chop them up really small to go into the frittata like this, so that they're more manageable bite size. So I finished cutting all the vegetables, and as I see them here, we got the cilantro, the asparagus, the onions, the cactus, and the broccoli. I bet you're noticing the same thing I am. Everything's green. Well, as much as my mom was really happy that I eat dark green vegetables, she also would say to me whenever I'd cook, "You need some color." So for Mom, I am adding some color. We are going to add some carrots to this, just to add a little bit of color, and I'll catch the rest of the color with some red pepper. I saved some of my leftover vegetables because here where we're staying, we have made a little friend, and that is a rabbit, and here is its home, and I am leaving it some food right here in its dish. Come on, bunny. Okay, I've been preheating the Dutch oven, and now I'm just gonna take it off the grill and start putting in the bacon. Hi. You know, in the RV living world, you get to meet a lot of people, and especially when you're staying in you know, RV parks, you know, you have new neighbors every time you arrive somewhere. And today I had a visit from one of my neighbors, and she visited for a little while. She was very nice. I'm glad to have met her. It's distracted me from my work a little bit, but you know, life is too short, and we need to make time to make connections, human connections with people. And you know, sometimes that means that some other things in our life go on hold for a short period of time, but it's okay. A really nice lady. She invited me to have hot dogs tonight with the other people here in this camp, and I don't really like hot dogs, but it's a very sweet invitation, and I plan to take her up on at least going by and meeting a few people, because you know, that's what we're out here for, is to meet new people and to affect each other's lives. And anyway, so I'm going back to the fire. Basically, I talked too long. The coals cooked down to tiny little pieces, and it's still hot. I need to put it at the bottom anyway, so that I can kind of get a sizzle on that bacon. And so I'm going to move it over to the larger grill, and so that you know, bacon can get a sizzle on it again. And I'm just going to start another batch of coals to put on top. It's okay, got plenty of time, and I'm just having fun cooking with you guys today, so stay tuned. Okay, so I'm over here with the Dutch oven. I'm just going to set the top down here. Nice clean spot out of the way. And I'm going to start with the parchment paper. And basically, the reason I'm using the parchment paper is just to avoid sticking more than anything. I'm going to put bacon on the bottom of this, and I'm hopeful that I can kind of weave a sort of a basket type thing at the bottom to serve as the crust. Instead of like in a quiche, you know, you have a pastry crust, but in this scenario I'm making a frittata, which is basically a quiche without a crust, but I'm going to throw in some bacon because who doesn't like bacon? So I'm going to line the bottom of this with parchment paper, and then I'm going to start weaving in the bacon, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, after a visit from the neighbor, a conversation with my husband, and one with my dad, I have now finished putting together the base for the bacon crust. And all I did, everybody, is I just like wove these. I mean, you just lay the bacon across it, pull the other one up, lay it across it. And then what I did was I just mashed it. You see how the sides are? I wanted it to kind of go up the side, but I also don't want to have just a crap load of bacon. So, I mean, I love bacon and everything, but we do have some grease to manage in this process. So, there it is. I'm going to go put this on the stove and let it kind of get going. That way if I have too much oil or anything there, I can deal with it before I put the eggs in. Because once I get the eggs in, it's really just too late. So that's where I'm headed next. Almost forgot. We need to season this bacon. So I'm going to just season it with a variety of things. It's probably going to be some cayenne pepper. I almost always put cayenne pepper on my bacon when I cook it, and I usually put brown sugar as well, but I'm not going to put any brown sugar in this one. And I think I'll put a little bit of garlic salt and a little bit of cinnamon, if I can get it open. Alright, and I'm going to put it in just like this. I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to put it on top of the fire, and I'm going to just kind of let it start doing its bacon sizzle. Candle's not hot anymore. So, I checked on the bacon. It really was just getting soft. So I put some more coals. I moved the bacon over to this larger grill, and there's some coals hot underneath it. And then I just added some more black coals that hadn't heated up yet to the top of this, because all the other ones have gotten tiny, and I'm hoping that this will kind of bring our heat up a little bit. I want to see the bacon start sizzling, and so I can pour off some of that grease, and then I'll add the rest of the food. Okay, I'm about to open this up and see what's happening on the inside. The problem is it takes two hands for me to get this lid off. So I'm going to take the lid off, then I'll get the recorder back on. Okay, I've taken the lid off. We are going to see the condition of our food. You can see that there is some oil here, and it's starting to firm up, but it's still very soft. So I'm just going to leave it alone a little longer. It's definitely heading the right direction, so we'll be back. Okay, I'm pretty proud of my makeshift camera situation here. Thanks for bearing with me while I learn to kind of process through some of these things. you know, and just being on this journey with us. We're kind of just winging it, but you know, I'm enjoying spending time with you. So I am just breaking off some eggs in here, and I am going to break off, I think I'm going to go with 8 eggs. All right. And I am going to add some sour cream because I don't have any milk in the fridge, and hey, that's another thing about RV life. You gotta kind of make do with what you got. And often our meals are just using ingredients that we need to get rid of. So I'm gonna put some sour cream in here. The reason I'm putting it in here is just to add a little bit of creaminess to the dish. And I'm going to be having some cheese in there as well. And so, you know, the cheese kind of needs something to grab a hold of so that it can kind of melt better. And I'm going to add kind of my collection of seasonings I like. Some chili powder. Some black pepper. A little bit of this Greek seasoning. And I want to use this Italian seasoning, but I haven't opened it yet, so bear with me. Let's throw some cilantro in here, some green onions, some cactus, some of our asparagus, some broccoli, some color for mom. Since I only used 1 carrot, I better just use all of it. And some rosemary. We're just gonna mix all that up, again with the eggs. And I hope this turns out good. I'm starting to think we might want another egg or 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add them in here. Like I said earlier, I like things a little spicy, and I'm the one eating it, so I'll put some red pepper in here. And I'm gonna go ahead and add that cheese. I have 2 packets and one's already been opened, so I'm gonna dump all of that in there first. Make it as cheesy as you want or not as cheesy as you want, that's really up to you. That's how much I'm putting in. We got a good mixture here of vegetables and cheese and eggs and cream. So we're gonna go check on the bacon again. I'm taking the lid off again, checking on the bacon. Looks like it's doing pretty good. So I am going to drain this excess fat and then put this back in there and go ahead and add the eggs to it. Okay, I've drained the fat off of this, and that is what our base looks like, and there is the oil that drained. Here's the bacon. And all we're gonna do, it's been drained already of all the fat, and all we're gonna do is just pour all this on top of it. Okay, got our mixture in there. I'm just kind of spreading it out a little bit. Always getting in the light. But man, look how delicious that looks. And it's going to be good for you too. I mean, the bacon's there, but you know, gotta have some flavor. But I think Mom was right. Those carrots really do add some color. Probably going to put a little bit more seasoning on top of it, some black pepper or something. Really, the flavors are up to you. I mean, it's your food. You should cook it the way it tastes good to you. So I'm probably just going to top mine off with a little bit of cayenne or black pepper or something like that. And then I'm going to put it back in the oven. While doing all this cooking by myself, I'm used to Greg handling the coals, so I've had to learn a few things today. One is, don't get too distracted talking to your neighbors. The coals go low. The other thing is, it's okay to continue to add some coals as you go along. You can see that I've just added these on top of the ones that are already kind of white. And these will just catch fire. I've done it a couple of different times today. Just kind of helps keep the heat up. And so everything's in there. Typically a quiche in the oven might take 30 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to assume this will take about the same time. I'll check on it here in a little bit and we'll see how it's going. It's been 15 minutes and I'm curious. So here we go. Looks like it's coming together. Not quite done. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to add a little bit more cheese to this, because I think it'll be nice on top. Such a bad cameraman. I just went ahead and put the rest of what was in my bag. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. Yum. Okay, it's been about 15 more minutes. We're going to take a look. My goodness, that looks good. So pretty. I think it's done. Just going to kind of lift up the sides here. You can see it's firm. Usually with a quiche, I can hit the top and see if it bounces. And it seems to be. So I'm going to call this done. But since it doesn't have quite the browning on top, I'm just going to push it a little bit longer. There's some good browning there. But over here, it's still pretty soft. So let's see what happens after a few more minutes. Okay, all we're going to do is lift the frittata out of the Dutch oven onto the cutting board. Because we use parchment paper, it's a little easier to do that. Came right out. And this is our finished frittata. Because we used the parchment paper when we were cooking, we were left a pretty clean Dutch oven. It's got some little bit of egg in the bottom and some bacon grease. For the most part, it's pretty clean. So I'm just going to get all the kind of extra out of it. I'm going to let it sit here and soak for a little while because iron skillets are porous. And so a lot of this is probably going to get absorbed, but I'm going to give it a little bit of time, then I'll come back and check on it and finish cleaning it up. So guys, that was a lot of work. But man, I've enjoyed the sunny day outside, the time with you, and just an opportunity to try something new. So Here's my finished dish. I'm starving. I'm gonna grab a glass of water. I'm gonna enjoy this beautiful sunshine and enjoy this really good food. I hope you'll continue to watch us, and I hope you enjoyed watching this one. Don't forget to subscribe to our page, and also click on that notification button. I think it's a bell, and that way when we have new videos come out, you'll be alerted to them. See you later.
Oh my goodness. I gotta try out this recipe. It is so good.
The extra work to do the bacon at the bottom, probably not necessary because it just kind of absorbed up into the frittata, but man, the flavor's good. Hope you'll try it.